Substack and just remind you of all the connections here of the metadata. And again, the Air National Guard training base in Salt Lake City is certainly a place where Tyler has been learning about weapons. We don't know if he ever got to Dugway. We don't know if Uncle Mikey ever got to Dugway. That's where the anthrax is. But the key thing here is this is media presentation. If the media can present anything that they want, right? And these are not little sniper rifles, right? These are machine guns. These are fully automatic machine guns that these kids are holding, right? Here's the Air National Guard Day, so that we know that Mikey is here, and we know from the National Guard. Look at the killer with the latex murderer with Bolter in Minnesota. We know that the National Guard is being used in places like Kosovo, including Peru, and we've been following this group since 2022 in St. George. You take the weapons down, and you give them to the drug cartels because they need the weapons to kill their competition. And what do they give you in return? They give you drugs in return. That's why I call this Utah Contra. The weapons are in the storage areas and lockers and so forth in the military. You steal those from the National Guard after these deployments, and then you get money back for drugs and you become very wealthy. Okay. I can't identify this flag here, this sword and shield flag. I get different hits on it, so I'm interested in that flag. If it's some people say it's the White Eagle of Poland, other people say it's the National Guard, National Guard unit. I'm interested in those colors, if anybody recognizes those colors. But you can see here the very large bombs that they're standing by, the shoulder-fired anti-tank weapons here. You know, this is what the whole perfect phone call of Donald Trump was about, is weapons like this to take out tanks, if you remember, right? And again, we've said from day one that we suspected the Robinsons of running a demolition ranch. Everybody said, no, you made up the demolition ranch. There's no such things as demolition ranches. They're not teaching these trans shooters demolition techniques to disrupt and to blow up Pete Hegseth with Snake Eyes type plots. That's never going to happen. There's never a Symbionese Liberation Army. The CIA would never do that if they didn't like the president or if they didn't like the Secretary of Defense. Well, that's not true. The crooks did train at the demolition ranch. Here's his t-shirt from the demolition ranch. We have information that showed that he actually trained in the demolition ranch. This is so that you can blow up the Secretary of Defense, right? You remember the Russian Secretary of Defense was blown up outside of his apartment, right? This happens in real life. Okay, here's the guy from Demolition Ranch, at his demolition ranch in Texas, talking about the various different automatic weapons, talking about the various explosives. This is the Peter Strzok story. This is how you take down the Burrow building in Oklahoma City with Timothy McVeigh. This is the stuff of warfare, right? This is the stuff going from the battlefield in Ukraine and now being given to all mass media is pushing the wiring the doorbells. Okay, show me a house where he wired the doorbells. He's out there at Demolition Ranch wiring shit that blows up, right? We said that from day one. Here's the mother holding an automatic weapon. Again, it doesn't look like a doorbell. This does not look like a doorbell. It looks like an automatic machine gun. One of those saws, semi-automatic. Maybe it's semi-automatic weapons. One of those things that you would see on top of a tank in Iraq, okay? This, again, is, they seem to populate these days, and they seem to be regular attendees of these days, firing all kinds of different weapons over years. The metadata is saying he's not wiring doorbells. It's saying he's wiring bridges, right? It's saying he's in an ROTC program, and he got called up in 2023. We don't know exactly when he got called up, but he got called up. When you're in ROTC and there's war, and you're in a covert program, and you get called up, you're going, right? There is not like, hey, let's talk about on Fast and Furious, direct reporting, not supposition, not speculation, not working theory, nothing. This is a guy who's been there, done that, right? And said exactly what the deal was. You see here, Borderland, they do various Frank Justra, Lionsgate movies and so forth. It's narcos and gun running. it's not just gun running. Guns go in one direction, but the drugs come in the other direction. The largest donation, the largest donor to Hillary Clinton, the drug runner and gun runner terrorist. When you check their containers, when you check their packages, they blow up the customs people. Right? That's where the bombs come in this story. We've been talking about Ibrahim a long, long time. Everyone, when you're supposed to see something and say something, right? Right? And when you just say clear and present danger, and you go to Rand Paul's office,